The Oura Ring. This is the Oura Ring. It's an advanced fitness tracker, arguably one of the most advanced on the market, arguably one of the best on the market. Hence, I am going to do a review on this lovely little device. And I've been meaning to do a review on this for a couple of years now, because I've actually had this for a couple of years. Actually, when the Ring first came out, I was quite quickly to get onto this. And I'm going to give you the good points and the bad points, and also I'm going to tell you my thoughts overall on fitness trackers and why I think they should be used with caution. They have many benefits, yet there's a really big reason why they're not for everybody, and perhaps we shouldn't use them for a long period of time or rely on them too much. And I'll tell you why. So, the Ring itself is very lightweight. It weighs literally nothing at all. It's a very nice design. It's very durable. It is got a few scratches, as you can see. I do wear this sometimes when I'm working out. It depends on what I'm doing, but I tend to take it off if I'm doing anything with weights. I don't want the Ring getting damaged. It's rather expensive, and although it's meant to be very durable, and it is very durable, it could get damaged. Okay, so you can get a few different designs. This is just one design with the flat top there. There's a couple other ones you can get with a more circular design, different colours. And there is the Oura Ring Gen 2 now as well. So there's a few different styles and varieties out there that you can look at. Okay, so we'll start with some of the benefits of this ring that I've personally found for me. And the main one I would have to start with is sleep. So the sleep tracking on this ring is outstanding. It is very accurate from what I can see. It's apparently almost as accurate as going to like a sleep lab and getting your sleep analysed by proper scientists with a machine on you and everything. Okay, so it's tracking your deep sleep cycles, your REM cycles, rapid eye movement. It's tracking the time you're awake. It also tracks your heart rate variability throughout the sleep period, which tells you how well you're recovering from exercise. So for athletes, this is a particularly useful piece of equipment. Many athletes, professional athletes, will use HRV as a metric to decide on how they're going to train for that day. If their HRV is optimal, they will go ahead with their planned training session and maybe even go a little bit beyond what they had planned to do. If their HRV is not doing so well, then they are showing signs that they're maybe not recovered fully, and perhaps it's time for a rest day or a bit of a gentle recovery day. Okay, so I found this particularly useful in my training. I do a lot of running, I do a lot of strength training. I'm an endurance athlete, but I do a mixture of different things. So I take a holistic approach in my training, and I take a holistic approach in the training of my clients as well. When I'm coaching them, I don't think it's a good idea, if you want to be a runner, to just go and run all the time. We need to take an approach which involves mobility. We need to look at recovery. We need to look at strength training. We need to look at all different aspects to take a holistic approach so that we're healthy. There's no point, in my opinion, in being a guy that can run a 15-minute 5K, but then you're not sleeping right, you're getting all kinds of illnesses, you can be a very fit, sick person, and you don't want that. You want to be healthy, because being healthy is great, it feels good. Okay, so for the sleep, fantastic. It is a great tool to see how well you're sleeping, and you can adjust variables to see what helps to improve your sleep and what helps to reduce your sleep. So for example, I wear blue blocking glasses in the evenings. Before I go to bed, I turn screens off and keep the lights down low, put the blue blocking glasses on if I have to look at screens, and that blocks out any blue light, which, if we have artificial blue light in the evenings, we are suppressing the release of melatonin, which is the hormone which helps us to sleep. Okay, so I've noticed on the occasions that I don't use my blue blocking glasses, my deep sleep scores are affected, My latency period, which is the time that it takes me to get to sleep, takes longer, and generally I just don't have as well a good night's rest. Okay. If I perhaps drink some tart cherry juice and eat a kiwi fruit about an hour or so before bed, that improves my sleep, improves my deep sleep quite significantly. So that's a little sort of pointer for you there as an idea as to how these things can affect your sleep. Tart cherry juice and kiwis have a compound in them which has been shown time and time again in various studies to help improve sleep quality. So, sleep is fantastic. HRV is fantastic as well. HRV, I can look at that and I can say, right, am I going to go ahead and do this interval session or am I going to do something else today? So that's really good. Okay. What else have we got? We've got the usual stuff that fitness trackers have, step count, etc. It also has skin temperature monitoring. So it monitors your temperature. And what's very useful for this is that if your temperature, body temperature goes up or down, the skin temperature is very sensitive. So it can actually detect very small fluctuations in your temperature, which could indicate that you are not well rested, your immune system is having some sort of an issue where it's having to fight something off. So it can actually signify that you have an illness coming on before it comes on. And I personally had this actually a couple of years ago now. In fact, it might have been a year ago. I had an infection of some kind. I'm not sure exactly what caused it or where it came from. It wasn't anything major, but the ring actually told me, my Oura Ring actually said my temperature had went pretty high for a couple of days, and then I had this infection and then it cleared up and everything was back to normal. So that was a very interesting insight for me. There are other variables as well which the ring will look at, such as now they've done an update so you can actually get a GPS tracking of your runs, for example, which is a new feature quite recently. And there are many other benefits that you can look into on the app itself that comes with the ring. So the ring synchronizes with the app and it gives you a readiness score. It gives you a readiness to train. So it looks at your overall activity levels. It looks at the intensity of those activities. It looks at how well you slept. It looks at your HRV. It looks at your skin temperature. It looks at your rest and heart rate. It checks everything and tells you, okay, you are optimally ready, or you're doing okay, or you are not very ready and you should perhaps take it easy. It gives you a sleep score as well. So same thing, tells you how well you slept, gives you tips on perhaps you should go to bed earlier, perhaps you should go to bed later, perhaps you shouldn't eat a large meal before bed. Okay, so fantastic amount of data you can look at on there and analyze for yourself. The downsides to the ring itself, I would say there are not that many downsides in terms of this particular fitness tracker, but I'm going to talk about fitness trackers in general after this. This ring has Bluetooth technology in it, so that's how it synchronizes with your phone or device to look at the data. And it can be turned off, which is fantastic. So it can go into airplane mode. There are no fitness trackers that I know of. Maybe there are now, but there were none when I first got this, and there's not many that I know of, or any that I know of, that you can turn the Bluetooth off. And they emit quite a high amount of electromagnetic frequencies. If you're not aware of EMFs and the negative health effects that they can cause, especially when you've got chronic exposure to them, then I highly suggest you look at the book EMF'd by Dr. Joseph McCullough. It's a fantastic book full of real data, full of science, and it really will show you the way in which we're going to uncover this problem with electromagnetic frequencies, and also gives you really good practical advice on how you can reduce your EMF exposure, etc. And perhaps I'll do another video on that in the future. If you like a video on that, just drop me a comment below, and I can perhaps make that video up and talk about all about EMFs. Okay, so that's a great thing about this as well. So in terms of downsides, I would say yes, one downside would be that the fact that it's a ring, you have to take it off to do, if you're doing pull-ups or deadlifts or anything like that with a bar, you may have to take the ring off to stop it from getting damaged or even perhaps damaging your hand or finger. However, there are benefits to having a ring over having a wrist watch. For example, you can use this if you are in the medical profession. Perhaps you're not allowed to wear certain types of jewellery below the elbow, whereas if it's a wedding ring, you can get away with that. So there are some benefits to being a ring, and it's a bit more sleek. I use it as on my wedding finger as well, so it's a bit more stylish in some respects. Let's go on to fitness trackers in general. The biggest downside to fitness trackers in general is that we tend to become very reliant on the data. And we actually have inbuilt mechanisms which tell us what is good, what is bad. So we eat something, our body will tell us whether it's good for us, whether it's bad for us. If we've not slept well, our body will tell us we feel tired. If we've trained too much, our body might tell us we feel tired, or we might feel a bit, just drained. So there's all this feedback always going on. And if we're just relying on fitness trackers all the time, we're dumbing down that sense, that intuition that we have built in. So what I would recommend is, if you're somebody who doesn't have that real sense of, I don't know what I feel like today, I don't know if I feel like I should go and train, I don't feel like if I need more rest, I'm not sure, then perhaps it's a good idea to get a fitness tracker, look at the data and analyse that and see, right, okay, well, my ring is saying that I feel very ready today. So let me just sit and meditate for a minute and see, how do I feel? Do I feel ready? Oh, okay, it feels like I'm relaxed. Right, okay. Okay, my ring says I didn't sleep very well last night. How do I feel? I feel a bit anxious today. I feel a bit just kind of nervous and irritable. Right. So you can use this as a tool to rebuild your intuition that you should already have. But then we have to become careful that we don't get too reliant on it. So make sure that you use this information, but learn to tune into your body and use the inbuilt technology that we have. I turn this on to airplane mode and it lasts about a week on a full charge. I then check it when I go to charge it after a week or so. I look over I have a little glance over the data. Sometimes I don't even bother. I had about a 4 or 5 month break when my charger cable broke, and I wasn't really that bothered about checking it. So I actually trained throughout that period, just using my own senses as to whether I should rest more or not. And sometimes, we rely on these technologies and they can actually be a little bit detrimental. So this may say your readiness is way through the roof, but this isn't telling me if I have a tired calf muscle. So I go and do a heavy sprint session and pull a calf. We have to listen to our bodies. So this is the overall bigger picture I wanted to get to in terms of fitness trackers in general. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you are thinking of getting one of these, I would recommend having a think about how in tune you are with your own body and what are you going to use it for. There's no point in having it just for the sake of having it. It's just another distraction. Make sure you're getting it for the right reasons. Make sure that there's not something else you could be spending your hard-earned money on in a better way, and these things are not necessarily going to fix your health or fix your life if your life's in a bit of an array. You need a bit more, something a bit more specific for that. But this is a great tool to advance yourself to the next level if you're perhaps a competitive athlete, if you're somebody who's very interested in optimizing your health already, it can be maybe the next level for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe to my videos and subscribe to my channel and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.